Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your new moon readings for the new moon in Cancer, 10th of July GMT, like really early in the morning, 1 in the morning, so 9th of July for a lot of the rest of the world. Now, as ever, this is a bulk introduction. I'm going to discuss a little about the moon beforehand because, oh God, I've got so much to say. But there is a timestamp in the description down below if you want to fast forward to your reading or if you are watching more than one. Because I would say, as ever, watch your sun, your rising, and your moon, to be honest. But the moon one is sort of a more internal process, or at least one would assume. But the other thing with this is a general reading. General reading rules apply, so timing's not absolute. If someone else appears in the reading, you can get them mixed up because I'm seeing actions and energies. I don't put a lot of stock in that, but I can see how it can happen. But more importantly, what I would like you to do is ask a question. Now, if you don't have one yet, watch my little waffle about the moon, and that might inspire one. But if you are aware of one, pause the video if you need to. Think about all of the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them. But be aware of all of them because cards will answer what they want. Obviously, as a YouTube channel, please hit that like button while you're here, or if you like my analysis of the moon and the new moon events, let's put it that way, then hit that subscribe button. There will be more and they are only going to get better because, as I say, I am not an astrologer. I am learning this stuff, but my God, it doesn't end and it's fascinating. So I want to thank you to all returning subscribers, and also point out that I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher about the astrology from a Hellenistic, with David from a Hellenistic astrology point of view. And just remember, it's a general reading I'm about to do here. Don't give away your power. If the reading is for you, which there's a past and a present always, well, actually this time it's more of just a present. But if the present doesn't fit, don't try and make it fit. Now, this time I've been led to use the Steampunk Tarot. Now, I've actually got 3 decks called the Steampunk Tarot, but this is a big box one from Tuttle by John and Caitlin Matthews. And the more I work with this particular deck, the more interesting it gets because it's got elements of, whereas the in-between tarot has sort of the space in between each card, this one, the minor arcana seem to be combinations, like a combination of wands and pentacles, or a combination of cups and swords, or a combination of the other 2 ways of doing it, which my brain's gone completely blank for a second there. But anyway, like I say, if you're wanting to get a personal reading from me, there is a link in the Facebook, in the description, a link for the Facebook page down below. Let's get my words in order. You can contact me there directly because it has got an inbox. There's a link tree down there if you prefer another way. Facebook's really the best way to do it. Right, let's get on about this moon. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to stop looking at the camera. I'm not used to having it quite so close. So as I look at the screen, you're going to really notice the difference. So this new moon is occurring in 18 degrees Cancer, 18 degrees and 1 minute. So there's an element of numerology 9, rebirth, or at least I always see 9 as rebirth. If you think about how you collapse numbers in numerology, the 9 always disappears, but it's always there. It never really leaves. It's like this supreme force behind each number. Now, 18 degrees Capricorn is within the arc of the angel Yael, or the Goetic spirit Ipos. Let me just change pages so I've got the notes up here, and of course I haven't written anything about Epos. That was clever of me. But by day it is ruled by the Goetic spirit Goujon, or by night Vual. Now Vual reveals the past, the present, and the future. You know, he reconciles enemies and brings love to a relationship. In medieval, wonderfully sexist speak, it says the love of a woman to a man. He creates friendships and ensures esteem. He knows all and can manipulate time. That I'm, if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm fascinated with what time is on a spiritual level as well as a physics level and everything. Now, the themes that I'm pulling from this new moon, you know how I say that I don't like doing relationship readings. Well, astrology and this new moon has told me to wind my neck in, because this new moon's very much about partnerships. It's in Cancer, it's about the home and family, but it's all forms of partnerships. So between you and a significant other, between you and your friends, between you and your rulers, elected representatives, however you want to say it. And there's a lot of themes about research, and this is all seen in the symbols for 18 degrees Cancer. But just in having a look at the partnerships theme to start off with, in the Astrology Hub podcast, Anne Ortley pointed out that Juno, the wife of Jupiter, the planet of marriage vows, you know, among other things, is retrograde at the moment and is on the South Node. So traveling in the same direction as the South Node. It's funny that Jupiter's gone retrograde, but Juno was already there. Jupiter's there, going back, chasing after her. And Anne said that this would indicate that there could be quite a few partnerships coming to an end. There's more on that, because Saturn is opposite the asteroid Hera, who, again, that's the Greek form of Juno. So again, there's the matter of vows and marriage and loyalty, opposing Saturn, where Saturn is strong and likes to say no. So there's that element of, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This vow, this contract, this agreement, it's not serving us. We need to do it differently. Now, I'm not saying that that means things are coming to an end, just the way things have been going so far is coming to an end. That can be good. It doesn't necessarily mean a massive breakup, because Chiron, is it still in Aries or is it in Taurus? I think it's in Taurus now. Let me just check with my chart that's up. I'm sure it's in Taurus. Yes, it is. Right, so Chiron in Taurus is parallel. Now, parallels work like a conjunction. Chiron in Taurus is parallel Orpheus and Vesta. So there's wounding and healing and instruction to be had regarding the matters of unrequited love with Orpheus, and diving into the underworld, of course. And with Vesta, matters about the home. And you need to check the other astrologer videos about, especially Anastasia, Cosmic Astrologer, for a real in-depth look at Vesta during this new moon period. Sappho. Now, Sappho was a poet in ancient Greece, and she was a servant of Aphrodite. She's, as an asteroid, is very much about artistic abilities, sexual expression, and in Aquarius, Sappho likes to shock. Now, bear in mind that this, for the shock element, this Mars square Uranus, although the actual square is fading now, it's like 3.5 degrees going on 4 degrees arc, Mars is still parallel. So there's that Mars conjunct Uranus energy going on through the parallel. And we saw, wasn't it, January the 6th, that was Mars conjunct Uranus. So there's certainly energy for one partner to shock another. But with Chiron's presence with the Orpheus and Vesta, this can be a a healing thing. That healing thing is also we are enveloped. Um, Apollo, I forget what sign Apollo is because I haven't written it down here. But Apollo is opposing Aesculapia, which I'm assuming represents Aesculapius. So there's the god of healing, and then his, I think he's Asclepius, sorry, is his grandson. And he was given to be the earthly expert on healing by Apollo. So with those opposing one another, they're both working towards healing, and I don't think that they're actually working at odds against one another. They are enveloping the whole zodiac in a way of creating the opportunity for some healing. Now, if we look at the symbols, the Sabian symbol, Cancer 19, because 18 degrees Cancer is the 19th degree of Cancer, a priest performing a marriage ceremony. And it talks about the ritualization of productive interpersonal relationships. But also, another interpretation that I was reading talks about how marriage is, in a way, a tool of civilization to promote some form of conformity. Civilization promotes conformity to bring all facets of light into alignment. Before civilization began to take shape, there weren't any priests, ceremonies, or contracts for sexual relations. Civilization actually, by its very nature, promotes conformity, and it can create bondage and deny individuality. It is structured by laws and moral codes with penalties. So this is something that you can take advantage of, or here may well be something that will get challenged with that Mars-Uranus energy, because it's interesting that Mars being semi-sextile the moon, they can't officially see one another when they're next to one another like that. So it's quite possible that they will be working not necessarily at cross purposes, but pursuing totally different agendas. Now, I also want to say that there's a big note about research. Let me see, the Charabel degree is a man with a very old looking book before him. It has the appearance of Sonic Ancient Record. I think that might be a misprint here that I've got, but that's what it says, Sonic Ancient Record. But the book denotes a studious person, and 18 degrees Cancer, if you have that in your chart. It can denote a studious person, a profound thinker, one capable of grappling with abstruse studies. And it's study for the sake of study rather than study in order to publish or to be heard or to be a renowned expert. But there's a lot of expertise getting unleashed. This is backed up by the Kosminski degree symbol, which is an old man sitting alone in semi-darkness with an old book before him from which emanate bright rays of light. So there's this search for the truth within this 18 degrees Cancer degree, which I think is absolutely beautiful and very, very needed, especially during this time where partnerships and agreements are, well, astrologically under pressure. But if you look at the relationship of the moon to the rulers, the south node is being ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is strong at the moment. It's in Pisces, it's at home, but it's starting to move retrograde. It's like the last gasp of this period of Jupiter in Pisces. And that implies, I think we'll be discussing this with David, but it implies that leadership can be doubted, that there can be a lot of force from the people of wanting to know the true facts, but again with a healing level, because I've just noticed as I'm going through this, the Safarial degree symbol, now I don't know what that first word is, and escutcheon Right, I don't know what an escutcheon is. I'm assuming it is some form of shape containing a harp and a gauntlet. Now, I'm really drawn to that harp because that's the symbol of Apollo. That's the symbol that Apollo uses. Okay, that's with his music, but harp, lyre, it's reinforcing that influence of Apollo. And Apollo is also a god of truth, which reinforces those other degree symbols I was saying. So here, the Safario degree symbol says it denotes a person of noble aspirations and refined tastes. Um, as an interpreter of others' works, he would shine. In the character, there is a particular mixture of gentleness and irritability, of playfulness and gravity, which can render the native of this degree more difficult to deal with. So that's from a natal interpretation, but we're seeing this same vibration of let's get to the truth, let's check all the agreements, and let's cancel the ones that are useless and cancel the ones that are rubbish. Now, if that has not, because I could talk for a lot longer about this, but if that has not given you fuel for a question, if you didn't have one already, then well, I don't know what will. Because we're always, it's human nature, isn't it? Is this partnership good for me? Whether it's between us and our employer, our partner, our leaders. I mean, hell, we get to test that ever so often, hopefully, while voting rights, well, when voting rights are available. So ask your question, take that moment. Thank you very much for watching so far and watching my blurb. And if you have any comments on the reading or on the astrology aspect, well, astrology, then comment down below. I always try to respond as fast as I can, so you get a response within a day. Anyway, I think I've talked for long enough. I'll bring up the cards. Okay, Libra, there's a really interesting situation going on at the moment. Now, you know, or you are aware that you're already in a new beginning. I'm not saying that you've got new beginning energy coming to you or anything like that, but you are in the new beginning now. How you feel, the Fool card, looking into the internal workings of some great machine with this. Here it's the apprentice. And you feel like you are on that learning curve of the apprentice. All Donald Trump jokes aside. Because that also puts context to the situation you are in right now. We have the navigator of airships, which is basically it's Knight of Swords. And looking at the character on this card, he looks like someone who could be full of bluster, full of bravado. And the reason for that is that he feels like he doesn't know what he's doing. However, what I want to say is he does know what he's doing. He's the Knight of Swords. And what he doesn't know, he can learn on the fly through experience, through having a good sense of judgment of how to react to the circumstances that are around him. I mean, you can't see him, he's like, we're either looking into the cockpit or something, but he's reminding me of one of the characters off of, the Sergeant Major off of It Ain't Off Hot Mum, with that air of bluster and what have you, and the bluster covering up an insecurity, but the fact is that here the insecurity is not warranted, because he does actually know what he's doing. Because you have been shown, or other new beginning energy, what you have to work with, Ace of Engines, so Ace of Wands, moving forward. But the way I first saw it, I was seeing it as Ace of Pentacles, because it's an ace and it's a big ball in the middle. So I want to, and engines are just as much iron and earth as they are fire. So I want to look at this card as a sort of combination of the two. And bear in mind, there's the idea that expertise goes into the creation of an engine. So we've got that moving forward sensation, almost like I don't want to say she's going to blow, Captain, but there's that sense of sitting in a, say you've got those films where there's, you know, massive tunnels on the inside around the earth that have those magnetic monorails on them, and you get in and you sit down and everything's still, and then boom, and that, this is what that is feeling like to me, that sudden shock of that boom, oh my god, this is moving past. You know, it goes from nice, quiet, innocent looking little cable car to boom, and we're off. You know, sort of London to Antarctica in 10 minutes or something. Now, this is an option that I think you've had some stuff revealed to you. You've had the numerous options, and you've decided to take one of them, and there's a sense of excitement with it. However, I do feel there is also the possibility that you're taking some baggage with you. Now, the reason I say that is we have, from the Energy Oracle, we have the Walking Away card, and then from the Enchanted Map, we've got the Bone Collector. Now, the Walking Away, with a title like that, you would assume that it's about leaving. And it can be. But it also says that it's time to leave a specific emotion, a specific idea, a specific behavioral trait, and just leave it because it's not doing you any good. And that's exactly what the Bone Collector card also talks about. So I think there's definitely a double message, you know, double cards on that message there. And the letting go of, and it could well be that insecurity that I'm feeling from this navigator of airships, because this here, the Walking Away card is clarified by the Sun. Now, obviously, it's not quite the happy, happy, joy, joy card of the tarot. It's more Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles in the Energy Oracle. But I don't want to lose that Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and to a point, Ace of Cups. You know, she stood in a massive pool which is shaped like a cup. So there's a relax and let yourself enjoy this new period of life, these new challenges, this new dream, because there is going to be change. Change is being brought in by someone around you. We have, as representing other people in your life, Spring-Heeled Jack. So card number 13, so representing death, or rather representing the death card. And then from the Angelarium, we also have Azrael, the angel of death. There is things that are coming to an end. So it looks like there is something that you can either give it up or it can be taken from you. So you might as well give it up. It's a lot less painful. And I actually really like the fact that you are giving up or even getting this thing torn away from you because of that Sun card, Ace of Engines, the Apprentice card, and also you're getting notice of it. Gabriel, the Angel of Heralds, bringing you plenty of advance notice, and you've had the advance notice, you've been shown the options. And now what Spirit is bringing in for you is a sense of strategy, that sense of how to put one foot in front of the other. That's slightly oversimplifying it, but you're in this whole new world, so be whole new world while you are in it, because there's certain things that I feel that you can see the wisdom of letting them go, but do I have to? Well, yeah. Yes, you do. For everything to really take off, Messenger of Airships here, how can you best serve both yourself and others in whatever the situation is if you are hanging on to some form of um, outmoded idea that will only really cause conflict. Five of airships, five of swords on the bottom of the deck. And interestingly, your final outcome card is the equivalent of the five of wands, five of engines. But I was watching Minnow Pond the other day, and he pointed out how the five of wands can be new ideas. Now, what I like with this, I mean, it's like robot wars in a large auditorium or something, but I do like that idea of the presentation of new forms, which to be able to present that new forms, which I do think presenting those new forms will be a lot easier than you think it is. But especially if you get over that thought that you don't know what you're doing, because you do know what you're doing, you're just doing it in a new way, in a new place, and you need some new strategies, but you still know how to build a house, pilot an airship, drive a plane, drive a car, whatever it is that you are doing. If you know some technique in one area, you can use that same technique in a new area, then you know what you are doing because you're using the same technique, you're just adapting it to the new area. And also, whatever it is that you are being called to let go, it's something that's causing you stress. It's something that's causing you discomfort. It's something that's causing that sense of debate, saying it nicely, conflict. Um, because the very, very presence of it, I know you don't want to let it go, but I would. Life would be a lot simpler. There's whatever this issue is, it feels irrelevant. It feels like it's something that belongs in the past, and you can fight till you're blue in the face over it if you want. But really, what's the point? So, Haamia and Halfas here, where I think here this time it's Haamia who's the stronger energies of the two, because Virgo, the same card popped up for Virgo, and you saw me shuffle the cards, but no, out comes Haamia again. But Haamia represents astrologically the sense of ritual and ceremony. So it's almost like I feel like there's something where you can actually ritualize saying goodbye to a thing, saying, whether you write it on a piece of paper and then throw it on a bonfire, or burn it in a little cauldron, or cast it into a river, or whatever this thing is that you need to let go of, let it go. But ritualize it, because then you've got that permanent memory as a reminder that you're not going to hold on to this thing anymore. And it is part of a strategy. I think quite possibly you'll be showing somebody something by doing this. And they can hold you accountable, which I think is a good thing, because it's always so easy to fall back into old habits. And if you fall back into an old habit, there's someone there to go, nah, you said you wouldn't do this again, and yeah, no, you're right. This that aspect won't be a bad thing. It wouldn't harm. But I love this Angel of Peace over this whole reading. This is, other than your own insecurity here, which you need to get over. I mean, yeah, I know it feels like there's been some decision that's gone against you, or that things are changing in a way that you're not sure you can keep up. But I do want to say that you can. You so can. And the fact that there may be some oversight going on, that people are watching you or looking over your shoulder, what have you, it really doesn't matter. It really does not matter, because you end up with something fantastic to present to the world. Admittedly, in Robot Wars, according to these cards, but you know what I mean. There's if you are a competitor in Robot Wars, you want to be able to come out and release into the arena your own version of Optimus Prime or Megatron or what have you, rather than what was he called, Dusty Bin or Robbie the Robot, or you want something that is impressive and you can do impressive. In fact, that's what I might call the reading. You can do impressive. Um, yeah. So if that means anything to you, Libra, please do comment down below. Don't forget to go and watch your moon and your rising signs. If this has been your sun sign, timestamp down below for that. And of course, there's the link for the show with David looking at the astrological intricacies of this full moon, new moon. Otherwise, see you at the full moon. Cheers.